Hey everybody, welcome to Cycle News and welcome to Willow Springs Raceway, one of the world's great racing circuits out here in Rosemont in California, up near the high desert. Now today we've got a pretty cool couple of bikes to test. We're going to be testing the 2024 Aprilia Tuono V4 factory. And we're also going to have a go on the Aprilia Tuono, there goes traffic, the Aprilia Tuono 660 factory. Now this is not exactly a head-to-head test, it's a bit of a Tuono love-in because both bikes are pretty much top of their category in their respective categories, shall we say. It's more of a which one do you prefer. So we're going to go ride Big Willow on both bikes. We're also going to go ride Streets of Willow on both bikes. So let's get into it. Also, while I've got you guys, I want to give a big shout out to Serge and Martine at Two Wheels Track Days. These guys have been gracious enough to let us get out there and have a bit of a spin. So if you want to get out and give track riding a go, hit the link in the description. It doesn't matter whether you're junior, senior, young, old, doesn't matter. Get out there and have a run. It's some of the best fun you can have with your clothes on, trust me. I've been riding tracks for years. These guys run a really, really good program. No egos, everyone's out for a good time. So give Two Wheels Track Days a look.
The Tuono V4 1100 factory is the king of the Aprilia naked bike range. With a claimed 175 horsepower and 89 pounds-feet of torque from its sublime 1077cc V4 motor, the Tuono V4 has been flying Aprilia's naked bike flag for years. A little while back, Aprilia properly differentiated the base model and the factory, and you can see our test on those bikes right here. The Tuono 1100 V4 factory costs $19,599 MSRP at the dealership, and you get a lot for your money with the Bosch IMU, a full suite of rider aids, Öhlins semi-active EC 2.0 fully adjustable front and rear suspension, more aggressive ergos, and far more attitude than the base model. As for the Tuono 660 factory, this is the higher spec model over the base Tuono 660, and it comes with the full array of rider aids via the APRC electronics and the 6-axis IMU. It also comes with fully adjustable Cayaba suspension, a quick shifter, a light battery, and a funky single seat cowling that gives it that racy look. Aprilia claims 100 horsepower and 49 pounds-feet of torque, putting the 660 right up there in the middleweight class. The interesting thing is the factory version of the Tuono 660 only costs an extra $500 here in the US at $11,099 MSRP over the base model, making it a complete no-brainer if you're in the market for a junior naked bike and settled on the Aprilia brand. In fact, I would argue at that price there's really no need for Aprilia to stock the base model at all. We used Pirelli's spectacular Diablo Superbike SC3 hard compound rubber for both bikes for this test, meaning we didn't even have to run tyre warmers, which was a real bonus. Our thanks must go to Pirelli and to CT Racing for providing these tyres.
La-dee-da, la-dee-da. New glove day, everyone loves a new glove day. Okay, so first up we're going to head out on the Tuono 1100. May as well jump in at the deep end. Okay. Alright, old mate's let us out. Let's go. Wheelies on 1, tractor's on 4, so I'll take that down to 3. Tyres are stone cold, so I've got to be a bit careful. I've also put the suspension in manual mode for the track. This just feels like coming home, this old thing. I haven't had a ride on an 1100 Tuono for a long time. We built our Pikes Peak bike. We really didn't change a lot when we did it. Check the link in the description right up there if you want to go and check out all the project stuff that we did with that bike. This is a stocker. Still good for 160 odd horsepower, but it's actually on the lower end now of the performance spectrum with current naked bikes. Okay, coming up to a bagger here. Big tank of a thing. Don't know who's on it, but it sounds good. Alright, wander out again. Woo-hoo-hoo! Hey! Bloody hell, this corner's so quick. Back out. Try and stay wide, past all the cracks. There's so many cracks in this pavement. They only did 1/2 of the circuit with the resurfacing. Back to floor. The electronics are so smooth on this, the way the traction control comes in and out. He got me. There goes my buddy Chris Fillmore. It's definitely a little on the soft side with the standard suspension, but in manual settings the damping's actually really good. That's the great thing about the Tuono, is how nicely it steers. I remember this back from when I raced it. It was such a beautiful neutral steering bike, and the base model is no different. Electronic suspension has actually been around for quite a while now. It hasn't been updated, at least on the Tuono, for a while. But man, it does a good job. And that engine is just, oh, so beautiful. The noise it makes. Look again. Oh! Yeah! Corner that just goes on forever. And there is just so much grunt with this motor. There's a lot of weight, especially a lot of inertia trying to get the thing to corner when it's really cooking like that. It comes with the territory of the big V4 engine. Oh. But it just picks up and goes so hard. Oh my, oh my. That certainly takes it out of you. Time for round 2. On the little 660 now. Alright, let's see, what map we got? Dynamic individual. Alright, let's go give this a shot. Always enjoyed this little motor. It's such fun. So unintimidating. We've got all the fast boys in front of us, so we're going to try and give them a bit of a head start. Get a bit of heat in this thing. There's a definite flat spot. About 6,000 RPM or so. But already you can just tell how much quieter it is. Turn into this flat stick left hand is so much easier. Not only are you going a little bit slower, but there's just so much less weight to have to deal with. Alright, throw the thing on its side, let's go. It does hold a line beautifully too. Standard suspension system. So it could definitely use a change in gearing. Running this in the most aggressive throttle map, so you know it's as fast as it's going to go in stock setting. The motor has a real definite flat spot around 7,000 RPM. God, I hate that track surface. Take that down to 1. Really control off. Okay. Let's see if this makes any difference. Alright, so that flat spot now seems to be gone. That was definitely the traction. Oh, that corner is freaking wild. I love the gearbox on this thing, it's beautiful. Yeah, this is a very nice little motorcycle. Hugely underrated piece of kit, especially for track days. Really, really lovely.
Oh man, I don't know what temperature it is, but I think it's got to be close to the hundreds. I'm still in the suit, so I can't wait to get out of this. Anyway, 2 days on these two things. These are two of the cream of the crop as far as naked bikes go these days. The Aprilia Tuono 660 factory, and one of my all-time favorites, the Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory. Now, you might be wondering why we did this test. It's more of a what do you like? And we rode both of these bikes at Willow Springs Big Track yesterday, and we rode them at the streets of Willow today, which is a much tighter and technical track. I'm not going to crap on about the obvious of like the big bike was better on the big track and the little bike was better on the little track. That's pretty. I think you guys have kind of deduced that for yourselves. But what I found was how surprisingly fun the little bike was, the 660 was on the big track. Because there is that lighter weight and it's got that twin cylinder motor versus that big old V4, you can point and you can change direction on the twin cylinder bike so easy. And then when you transfer that over to the streets of Willow, the switchbacky, really tight and technical circuit, I was only able to run, I think it was 0.8 of a second faster on the V4, which has twice the number of cylinders, damn near twice the level of horsepower than the 660. And that's purely down to the fact that the 660 chassis is just so easy to get the most out of, and so enjoyable as well. Like you can play with the 660, whereas the V4 does feel like you're in a little bit of a boxing match, so to speak. However, the V4, it's not without its charms, let me tell you that. On the big track at Willow, it's those high bars, V4 motor, 175 odd horsepower. I'm not exactly sure what it has at the tire, but it's just it doesn't get much better, honestly. Coming out of, I think it's turn, you got the downhill left, and then onto the back straight. There's a big right-hand sort of kink as you go firing onto the back. Well, it's not even a straight, it's a curve. But this thing just tracked beautifully. It pulled a nice little wheelie, and off you went, and just fantastic. Throw gears at it, and then you peel into the never-ending right-hand corner. And that Olin suspension, I ran it in manual for both days, actually, because I wanted to just explore the manual settings in the track. Cars going around Willow at the moment. And manual settings on this, just for good track day pace, is really, really good. We were running Pirelli's SC3 sleek tires, and we did not run tire warmers. First time I've ever done that, and it transforms the bike, let me tell you. And I got to say, being out here in extremely high temperatures, I wasn't that surprised. I suppose if you were in New York or wherever you may be, and it's 70 degrees out or whatever, it might be a bit more careful when you want to get some heat into the rubber. But it was within one lap, and bang, on your knee, away you go. And they didn't wear anywhere near as quickly as like an SC1 or SC0 for that matter. So I can only say good things about those tires. They were absolutely magnificent and really let the bike show their true potential. If I were to be buying one of these bikes, look, I'm going to state the obvious and say I still take the 1100, but it's not as clear cut as that, because this bike allows you to get the most out of it. This bike does not. The V4 is a boxing match. You really got to be on your toes, especially around somewhere like Streets of Willow, where you just can't maximize what the bike's got. It's impossible. I know about you, but I have a lot more enjoyment going through corners than I do going down straights. And for that regard, I love going out riding supermoto at go-kart tracks and things like that. And that's what the 660 reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of a twin-cylinder supermoto bike, so to speak. The suspension's pretty good. Brakes aren't too bad. It is mid-level stuff compared to what you're getting on the RSV4, on the Tuono V4. But I gotta say, it was really, really close. And if I was taking a 660 and I was going out and doing track days on it, I would be very, very happy indeed. I gotta say, I'd still take the 1100 because I've got such a soft spot for it after all my years riding it. These two bikes haven't actually changed for a couple of years. We don't have to go and test the latest and greatest all the time. doesn't mean to say these things are still not absolutely at the top of their class. Like that V4 is just, it's a magnificent motorcycle. It's one of the best bikes built in the 21st century as far as I'm concerned. Goes right back to the V4, RSV4, the very first one. It's always an evolution with those bikes. This one is definitely the new kid on the block. However, I find both riding experiences are just sublime. If you gave me one of either, I'd be very happy indeed. So anyway, this was a bit of a joyride test. If you're going to go out and buy yourself an Aprilia, I would be looking at the Tuono 660 first, depending on what you want to do. But if you're going to be out doing big road miles and the odd track day and you want to go somewhere fast like Willow Springs, the 1100 is your choice. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this quick review and we'll see you guys again soon. Cheers.